My Lords, I declare an interest as the President of the Road Danger Reduction Forum. And I would like to point out that what we have in our road traffic laws is actually something that's really quite outdated these days. The laws and the penalties, they've been patched together over the last few decades, and the review is long overdue, and I do hope that the ministers will perhaps take that back. At the moment, at some point in history, it became acceptable that people were killed by cars, pedestrians and cyclists. Other drivers just became collateral damage for our car-obsessed culture. I simply don't understand that. I mean, personally, I support all of these amendments, and I'm grateful to work with the Noble Lord Berkeley and with the NGOs that put so much effort into pulling these amendments together. It seems to me that there's a horrific gap between the penalties for killing someone with your car and killing somebody in any other way. Personally, I'd like to see mandatory lifetime driving bans brought in for many road traffic offences. At the moment, you can be found guilty of killing someone with a car and be allowed to drive yourself home from the court. It's absolutely unbelievable. And also, of course, we talk so often about accidents, and this, of course, is completely wrong because that presupposes the outcome of any investigation of a collision. If you're saying an accident, you're saying, oops, sorry, couldn't help it. But actually, of course, there is always a cause for these incidents. And actually, during my time on the police authority, the Met Police Authority in London, I did, in fact, get the Met Police to change their designation of these events from road traffic accidents to road traffic incidents. You cannot prejudge why it happened. And, of course, there's a huge amount of victim blaming. I mean, in the case that the Noble Lord Berkeley mentioned about the person who accelerated away, you know, when I was knocked off my bike by a motorist, I was actually on a green light, and the motorist wasn't. And they just didn't look. And I had life-changing injuries from that. And I didn't do anything about it. I didn't follow it through because I think he genuinely just didn't look properly. And what's to do about that? But at the same time, we do accept these incidents far too often, and we can't blame the victims all the time. We have to start at some point blaming the person who is driving a ton of metal and who is extremely well protected in the case of any collision. And so please, let's replace these patched up ancient laws with something that actually fits today's circumstances, especially when we are trying to encourage more and more people to get out of their cars, to get on bikes, to walk home or get on buses. This really does need to change.